Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the channel for more stories that touch the heart and stay with you long after they end. 6 years. That's how long it had been since I last saw her. 6 years since the ink dried on our divorce papers, since I stepped out of that courthouse, feeling like someone had carved a hollow space inside my chest. My hands wouldn't stop shaking that day, and I kept wondering how something that once felt endless could die with a single signature. Her name was Sophia. Once upon a time, that name meant everything warm and familiar. It tasted like Sunday coffee, quiet smiles from across a crowded room, her voice calling me home from the porch. But years have a way of changing the way names sound, how they linger in your mind. Now Sophia carried a weight, a reminder of everything I'd lost but never fully let go. I told myself I'd moved on, bought a small house on the edge of Denver, traded midnight arguments for silence, and built a life around habits that didn't hurt. It wasn't happiness, but it was peace. And peace, after all, is just pain that's learned to sleep quietly. Then came that random Saturday. I was standing in line at a local bookstore holding a book I'd probably never finished when I heard it. Her voice soft, familiar, out of place. Michael. I froze. Nobody had said my name like that in years. I turned, and there she was. Same hazel eyes, though the light behind them had faded a little. Shorter hair now, a few gray strands catching the afternoon light. She didn't look like the dream I'd been running from. She looked real, human. Sophia, I said. Her name felt strange coming off my tongue. She smiled, small, hesitant. I thought that was you. And for a moment, the world around us went silent. Just two people standing in a room full of stories, none of which could ever tell ours. I didn't know what to say. How do you ask someone how they've been when they're the reason you learned what heartbreak really means? Do you pretend the 6 years between you never happened? You look good, she said finally, breaking the silence. I nodded. You too. It wasn't true, but it wasn't cruel either. She looked worn out, like someone who'd been fighting invisible battles and barely holding the line. She glanced down, then back up at me. Do you have a minute? And just like that, I was pulled back into her orbit. The same ache, the same gravity. Against every better instinct I had, I said, yeah. We went to the cafe next door. The air smelled of roasted beans and warm milk, the soft hum of chatter wrapping around us like a lie, pretending everything was fine. We sat across from each other, two strangers who used to share everything. I didn't think I'd ever see you again, she began, fingers tracing her coffee cup. But I've thought about you more times than I should admit. I didn't respond. Part of me wanted to know why she was here. Another part wanted to get up and walk out before old wounds opened again. She stirred her coffee slowly. I need to tell you something. I know I don't have the right, but it's been eating at me. I tightened my grip around my cup. What is it? She looked up, and for a second I saw her as she used to be. The woman who whispered promises in the dark, and the same one who broke them. I made a mistake, she said softly. Leaving you was the worst decision of my life. The words hit me harder than I wanted to admit. I'd imagined hearing them countless times during sleepless nights, but the reality wasn't satisfying. It was heavy. Sophia. I set my cup down slowly. Why now? Why, after all this time? Her eyes glistened. Because I saw you last week with someone. You looked happy, and it hit me. I let go of the only person who ever really loved me. My jaw clenched. 6 years of silence. And this was how she broke it. Not with remorse, but jealousy disguised as regret. Still, my heart didn't care what my mind knew. "Sophia," I said quietly, "you don't get to come back just because I finally learned how to live without you." Her lips parted, but no sound came. I saw it in her eyes, the storm she'd been holding in. I wanted to hate her. God, I wanted to. But all I felt was a strange, aching calm. "Michael," she whispered, "there's more I need to tell you." Her voice shook the way it does when someone's been holding pain too long. She took a slow breath. "After we divorced, I thought freedom would fix me. I thought being alone meant peace. But it wasn't peace. It was emptiness." I stared into the swirl of my untouched coffee. Her words didn't heal. They just peeled open the scars I'd learned to live with. She continued. "I got married again 2 years after us. His name was Kevin. He was everything you weren't. Loud, charming, unpredictable. I thought that's what I wanted." Her fingers brushed the rim of her cup. "It lasted 3 years. He cheated on me twice. The second time with someone I called a friend. I should have felt sorry for her. Instead, all I could think was how familiar that pain must have been. Except this time, she was the one left behind." "I'm sorry," I said quietly. It wasn't forgiveness, just an old reflex. She gave a half laugh that died before it finished. "I don't think I deserve that." Silence hung between us, the kind that makes you face what you'd rather forget. Finally, I spoke. "I spent years trying to figure out what I did wrong. I replayed every argument, every quiet dinner. Then one day, I realized it wasn't about me. It was about what you stopped feeling." She nodded slowly. "You're right. I fell out of love, or convinced myself I did. I thought love should always be exciting. I mistook calm for boredom. There it was. The truth I'd been chasing for 6 years, sitting right in front of me, too late to matter." I leaned back. "So, what do you want from me now, Sophia?" Her eyes lifted, full of something raw, searching. "I don't know. Maybe forgiveness. Maybe just to know you don't hate me." I took a long breath. "I don't hate you. I stopped hating you the day I stopped needing you to come back." That made her flinch. A tear slipped down her cheek, and she wiped it quickly. "You always had that quiet strength," she said softly. "I used to take it for granted." "Yeah," I murmured. "You did." Neither of us spoke after that. People moved around us, laughing, living. The world kept spinning while we sat frozen in time, 6 years of silence trapped between us. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "I wasn't sure if I should give you this." I frowned. "What is it?" She hesitated. "A letter I wrote the night before our divorce was finalized. I never sent it. Found it last month while cleaning." I shook my head. "You don't have to give me that." "I think I do," she said, sliding it across the table. "You don't have to read it. Just keep it if you want." My name was written on it in her familiar handwriting. Careful, steady, unchanged. It felt like touching a memory I'd already survived once. "I'll hold on to it," I said finally, without promising anything more. She smiled faintly. "Thank you for at least listening." I nodded. "Take care of yourself, Sophia." As I stood to leave, she called softly. "You really did love me, didn't you?" I paused at the door, turning just enough to meet her eyes. "Yes, I did. And I still wish you the kind of peace we could never find together." Then I walked out. The cool air outside hit me like a reset. The city buzzed around me, horns, footsteps, pieces of life moving forward. I slipped the envelope into my jacket pocket, but I didn't open it. I didn't need to. Whatever it said belonged to a chapter that had already ended. When I caught my reflection in my car window, I didn't see a broken man anymore. Just someone older, calmer, free. That's when I realized closure doesn't come from the person who hurt you. It comes the moment you stop waiting for them to fix it. 6 years ago, she walked away from the life we built. Today, I walked away from the ghost of it. And for the first time in a long, long while, I fell out.